Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a campsite. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you make it to the very end of the video, you'll get to see where we place the campsite in the city. First of all, we have to make a campfire. This is the center of the campsite. A small tent, a large tent, an RV/campervan, a caravan. We also have several smaller builds around the campsite, such as a picnic table, backpack, clothesline, and a lake. Begin by destroying a block in the ground and replacing it with a magma block. Place a campfire on top of it, and then destroy in front of, to the left of, behind, and to the right of the campfire. We then want to place pods of in 2 of these empty spaces and stone in the remaining. We then want to add a couple of stone buttons around the fire like so, and we want to add oak logs, leaving a gap of 3 from the fire, so 1, 2, 3. We want to place a set of oak logs, specifically placed like this, away from the fire. Campfire complete. Next, we are making a small tent. I want to point out that you can make the tent in any colour that you like, as long as you have the same colour bed, same colour wall, and same colour banner. Begin by placing a bed on the ground, and then cover up the left, back, and right sides of the bed using wool. We then want to add another row on top of this wool, extend up the back middle, and then extend forwards, like this. We then want to apply a trip wire hook to the front and back of this middle row, and then banners along the back of the tent like this, and also the front of the tent where applicable. That is the tent complete. Next, we will make a large tent, and just as with the previous tent, you can make it any colour that you like. You simply need the same wool, carpet, and bed combination. Begin by placing a row of 4 wool on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to extend across by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then forwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then, along the back row of the tent, we want to extend up the 4 middle blocks, and then the 2 middle blocks like this. And then, on the front of the tent, we want to extend these 2 rows inwards by 1, and then up, and then join them together diagonally at the top like this. We also want to add end rods in front of these rows of 2 wool, join them together with string in between, add light blue carpet or any carpet that you are using to connect them together. Then on these sides we want to extend up the 2 middle walls and then extend up diagonally towards the top, fill the top in, extend across to the opposite side and extend these 2 middle blocks forwards, and then down diagonally to shape the tent. And then inside of the tent, we are going to add a double bed to the left side, and facing it a chest and a crafting table. You can even add a lantern and item frames and any other such details you would like to add. And that is the large tent complete. Next, we are going to make an RV. To begin, place a row of 4 smooth quartz block in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind that 4th block, place a cyan terracotta. Destroy the block in the ground behind it. Place a smooth stone with an oak door on top. Then, place 3 smooth quartz block. 1, 2, 3. Cyan terracotta, and then a smooth quartz block. We then want to extend this across the back. Extending forwards again, place a cyan terracotta, 4 smooth quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then cyan terracotta. Now is a great time to dig out the inside of the RV and replace the grass with smooth stone. Next, place a row of 2 black concrete on top of each one of the front pair of cyan terracottas. We then want to place black stained glass pane in front of the 2 rows of black concrete, connecting them together to form a window. Then, on top of the window, place a layer of smooth quartz slab like this. Now, move over to the right side of the RV and extend the black concrete backwards by 1 row. We then want to place 2 black stained glass pane extending back from the bottom, 1, 2, and then place black concrete extending all the way along the remaining side of the RV. Extend the black concrete up and then forwards like this. And then, coming to the back of the RV, we want to place a small window here, and then fill the rest of the back of the RV in using black concrete. And then on the opposite side, we can simply make the entire side of the RV black concrete. And we also want to extend the smooth quartz slabs all the way to the back of the build, just like this, to form the entire roof. Next, we want to add glow item frames to the front of the RV, with glass pane inside of the item frames and ladders in between them. On the right side of the RV, we want to add oak trapdoors onto the sides of the wheels, a lever above the front pair of wheels, stone buttons either side of this window, and then coming to the opposite side of the RV, we also want to add a lever above the front wheel with oak trapdoors on the sides like this. And now moving around to the back of the RV, first of all, acacia buttons on the bottom, with glow item frames above the buttons and red stained glass pane inside of the item frames, and then just next to this window, a ladder that allows us to climb on top of the RV if we want to. Moving on to the inside of the vehicle, we first of all want to add a stair in the front right hand corner of the RV. Next to it, a lever. Behind the stair, a smooth quartz block and black concrete extending up to the roof. Behind this, we want to place a bed, and then behind the bed, a smooth quartz block, and then black concrete extending up to the roof, and then across. We then want to add a door to this, open up the door, and just inside to the right, a cauldron with an oak trapdoor on top of it. Optional extra, we can add a tarp to the side of the RV, and underneath it we can have a seating area with a barbecue. Begin by placing string above and connecting the 2 stone buttons together, and extend the string outwards. We then want to place alternating red and white carpet on top of the string. And underneath this we can add a scaffolding and a furnace. On top of the furnace, an item frame with a stake in it, and on top of the scaffolding, a lantern. Then, extending outwards diagonally in front of each one of these, we can place a birch stair. And on the sides of the stair, we can add birch signs like this. And in front of one of the seats, we can add an item frame, and then just off to the side, we can add another. In one, we can place a map, and in the other, a compass. And that is the RV complete. Next, we are making a caravan and a car towing it. Begin by placing an upside down smooth quartz stair on the ground. Next to it, we want to dig in the ground and place a smooth stone with an oak door on top. Right of this, place a smooth quartz block, black concrete powder, stone button on the outside of the powder, and then an upside down smooth quartz stairs behind the powder. Extend across the back by 3 using upside down smooth quartz stair, 1, 2, 3. We then want to extend back in this direction, placing a black concrete powder with a stone button on the side of it, and then 2 smooth quartz block, and then an upside down smooth quartz stair, and then join together like this. We then want to dig out the inside of the caravan and replace all of the grass with smooth stone. We then want to add 2 glass pane on the middle right side of the van and the middle left side of the van. We can then place red terracotta on top of every single other quartz and concrete powder block, and then on the right side place smooth quartz stairs, and on the left side place smooth quartz stairs. We then want to fill in between the 2 rows of stairs in using smooth quartz block like this. Moving inside of the van, we simply want to place a bed, crafting table, and a chest like this. We can even add lanterns and other details, but I'll leave that up to you. Towing the caravan is a car, so in front of these 2 upside down stairs, we want to place a row of 4 blue wool. 1, 2, 3, 4. In front of this, we want to place glow item frames, and on the sides, oak trapdoors flipped down at the front and the back. We then want to place 2 blue wool here with glass pane in front, and then simply place blue carpet on top of all of the exposed blocks. And there we have our car and caravan. Do bear in mind that you can change the colour of the car and the caravan as you see fit. These are the main builds of the campsite complete, but there are also smaller and more immersive builds that we can add that complement everything that we've made so far. First of all, a picnic. So we have to dig out a 3x3 row area in the ground and then replace it with a checkered pattern of red and white concrete powder. This will form the blanket. Then, in the back corner of the blanket, a couple of composters with oak trapdoors placed on top. You can have them open, closed, or half open, half closed. I'll leave the details up to you. Next to this, we are going to place a cake, a flower pot in front, a couple of item frames scattered about the blanket in any sort of configuration that you like, and fill the item frames up with your favourite food. Feel free to add a jukebox and a parasol if you're in the mood. Next, a clothesline. Begin by placing 2 spruce fence on top of each other, extending up from the ground. Then add 2 spruce fence gates extending across, and then join those back down to the ground using spruce fence. We then want to add an item frame in front of one of the gates and a banner in front of the other. Add some form of clothing inside of the item frame, and I'm also going to recommend that you have the gates open. You can even attach stuff to the back of the clothesline if you like as well. And there we go, that's your clothesline. Nice little immersive build for the campsite. Next, we are going to make a picnic table. Begin by placing 3 campfires on the ground, facing the way that you would like the picnic bench to face, and then extinguish the campfires using my personal favourite method, water bottles. We then want to leave a gap of 1 and then add another bench. Then, in between these 2 rows of benches, we want to place spruce trapdoors on the end, flipped up, and then spruce trapdoors connecting each side together like so. So you can see now we have the seat on either side, and now we have a table. We can take this one step further by placing 2 oak fence on top of the center part of the table with an oak trapdoor on top. Add string all the way around the outside of the upper fence, and then a checkered pattern or alternating pattern of, once we've added the rest of the string, yellow and white carpet, or any colour variation that you would like. And last but not least, we can add stuff to the table, so item frames with food in it, or just a flower pot, or even a cake, whatever it is that you like. And you can of course have multiples of these. Next, we are going to make a backpack and a couple of smaller builds that we can surround it with that, once again, just increases immersion. So the backpack is made by placing a green shulker box on the ground with a brown carpet on top of it, an open spruce fence gate on the back of it, and then on the sides we are going to add spruce signs, and then in front a polished black stone button. So this does take a little bit of imagination, but I think that you can imagine that the shulker box with the gate is a fine backpack. Backpacks often have side pockets, so that is what the signs are for. This is the top flap, and the button is the locking mechanism for the top of the backpack. So again, a little bit of, a little bit of imagination, but if we add a couple of item frames next to the backpack with, say, a compass and maybe even a map, I think that maybe this helps to sell it a little bit. Oh, and I also want to add a camping chair just in front of the smaller tent as well. So this is a fence with any kind of carpet on top. This next part of the campsite is completely optional. You may not want to add a lake or body of water to your campsite. If you don't want to add this, I would understand, but it does add another layer to this build. I am going to place my lake in front of everything that we have made, and it is going to roughly be the width of the entire campsite. I'm going to begin by marking out a rectangular shape in the ground. Then, remove the center of the rectangle. Form the rectangle into an odd shape. We're looking for something kind of like an oval. Once you're happy, fill the shape in with water. I also like to make the bottom of my water bodies light blue concrete. Closer to the campsite, I'm going to dig out a little bit more of the grass area and also replace some of the lake with pods up. Nothing too crazy, we just want to blend it in. Maybe a couple of blocks of sand just scattered about the place, not too many. In the middle of the lake, I am simply going to add an island. This is an abstract grass area, like so, with some stone slabs on top to look like rocks, and I'm just going to bone meal the rest. Around the lake, if you add some mushrooms to the pods up and some reeds in the form of green stained glass pane and lime glass pane, I like to stack them together diagonally like this and add brown candles on top. You can do this as much or as little as you like. I also want to add a dock to the lake. It doesn't really matter where you add this, but I'm going to add this over here on the left. A 2x3 row of spruce planks extending out from the shore, with a spruce fence on the front right hand corner, and then I'm going to place spruce trapdoors on the left and right sides like this so that we don't just fall off of this thing, and a boat close to the dock, but maybe not that close. That's perfect. And last but not least, just somewhere along the shoreline here, I want to add a fishing rod in the form of an oak fence with 2 iron bars on top, chest next to it, item frame on the chest, and then a fish inside of the item frame. And there we go, super simple immersive lake. Last but not least, I am going to recommend enclosing your campsite with trees. I am going to use spruce saplings myself, but I'm also going to try and not place these in such a way that we can no longer see the campsite, but when this is actually placed into my city, I do want this place to be quite private. So that's something that you're going to have to find a balance with yourself as well, and I'm also going to bone meal around the builds, but preferably not in between them. And that is the end of this tutorial, ladies and gentlemen, but not the end of this video. We still have to add this build, or builds, into Mini City. I don't even need to think about where to place this. This is going to go right next to the farm and fill in the gap in between the suburbs and the fun part of Mini City. At a later point in time, we will also refine this area by adding forest trails and more trees and anything else that we can think of that might suit this area as well. But for now, I'm actually really happy to have finally built this. I've been wanting this for a very long time. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I hope that you are enjoying building your city as much as I am. This feels like a monumental moment in Mini City history. It now feels as though the entire city is connected, at least to me, and I wonder if you guys feel the same. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.